A Brexiteer caller stunned listeners with his advice for Boris Johnson, telling him to go for the nuclear option and call a vote of no confidence in his own government. Andy from Littlehampton called into Mike Graham's talk radio show to reveal his advice for the Prime Minister. The Supreme Court ruled that Boris Johnson's prorogation of Parliament was unlawful, void and of no effect. Following the judgment, opposition leaders have called for the Tory leader's resignation, but a no-confidence motion has not been submitted. Andy called in to strongly defend the Prime Minister. He said, "Boris is in the crosses of a concerted effort to destroy him. There's no two ways about it. They call themselves honourable. They won't do a vote of no confidence. They won't have a general election. What they've essentially done is they've done all but handcuff the government and hold a revolver to its head to do their will." He continued, "We essentially have several cabals of left-wing parties running government daily business. They might as well put Boris down in the basement with masking tape over his mouth because that's what they've done to him. All the time they have got him in this position. They can basically make up the rules and parliamentary procedures and processes to how they want to shape the future. If you ask me, I think Boris should go for the nuclear option and call a vote of no confidence in his own government." Host Mike Graham also offered an opinion. "I wonder, Andy, whether that is the plan, because what they actually are doing at this moment is running down the clock to the 31st of October. We heard from our legal scholar who was here that technically the EU and the EU law does trump any UK law on leaving the European Union. So I wonder about this prorogation. Even if it didn't work, he's still got about 8 days. He bought himself about 8 days to get closer to the 31st of October. Andy agreed wholeheartedly and also pushed his idea once more. "Yes, absolutely. And just imagine if he did call a vote of no confidence with the Fixed Terms Parliaments Act and the 14 days that then ensues to find an alternative government. If he was to do that 13 days before the 31st of October, Lib Dems and Labour can't agree who should be in the driving seat, and I can imagine it turning into an absolute farce. Basically what he's doing is handing over the driving seat to them. I think the most important thing out of all of this, no matter what happens from Parliament today, Boris must not resign. Sooner or later, a general election is going to come, and when Boris stands in a general election, the wind will blow the other direction and they'll all be wiped away.